everyone. Welcome to Broke Teachers Travel. I'm Marnie.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we are going to talk about traveling within 100 miles or an hour, hour and a half outside of your home area. This is something we've talked about before, but last weekend we did this. We went to the Florida State Caverns Park located in Marianna, Florida. And let me tell you, it is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's something we've had experience with before personally. I went on my 4th grade field trip there, which was a big deal. Let me tell you, everyone looked forward to the 4th grade field trip to the caverns. And you actually got to do something really cool.
I wouldn't say it was really cool. It was I was a senior in high school, and we had about a 6 or 9 week project that was due. And well, Saturday was prom, and Sunday we decided to do the project, me and my friends, and we were reading Our Town by Thornton Wilder. So we did something about our town, and it's a fairly small community in Northwest Florida, and so it's like, well, we got a state park, so a lot of it was featured about the Florida Caverns, and I still remember some of my lines. I actually shot a video there and sent it to my friends, and well, I'll keep their comments and Marnie's comments to myself. So
that's probably best.
Yep.
But you do know a lot of the history of it.
I do. Basically, the cave had been known for years. They called it the Old Indian Cave, and what ends up happening is during the Great Depression and part of the New Deal, they developed something the federal government called the Civilian Conservation Corps. And basically this took young men from all over the country, and they put them like in a big, almost Boy Scout camp, and they did parks and all sorts of things like that, state parks, federal parks, and they, built stuff. They made this whole park system. And when you first go in the cavern, there's a big statue to honor members of the CCC.
We actually did a short on that.
Oh, yeah, we did. And it's really cool because I know my grandfather, when he was a boy, he was part of the CCC and then later the TVA, all of those New Deal projects that really helped Americans get through the Depression and gave us some cool stuff for future generations.
Absolutely. Now, the park is open 365 days a year, but the cavern tours run from Thursday through Monday. And let me just tell you, this is a budget-friendly thing. If you want a good day trip or if you camp, a good weekend trip, it's $5 per vehicle to get into the park. Now, the cave tours are a little bit more. For children 3 to 12, it's $8 per person for a cave tour. And for adults, or for 13 and up, actually, it's $15 a piece. But I have to say, it was well worth every penny. I
mean, for $35, we got to go and have some fun. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's really, really beautiful.
So things have changed all in Northwest Florida for a lot of reasons. And the biggest reason, if you guys aren't around this area or didn't know, we got a few years ago hit by a Category 5 hurricane. It was one of the most powerful ones to ever make landfall, and it just totally ripped that entire area up. The day after it, I went to check on my parents, and trees and debris and was everywhere, and the Florida Caverns wasn't spared that.
No, not at all.
But the cool thing is, nature takes its course, and the big trees that fell down, had always blocked, the sunlight. So, saplings and things like that just really didn't grow. But now with that big canopy gone, there's a lot of trees, a lot of vegetation, and it's amazing just in the 5 years since Hurricane Michael, how those small trees are now so large after just 5 years.
Yeah. It's really... It's nature, and it happens, these storms happen and things, but sometimes a little bit down the road, you see everything just blossom, and it's beautiful. There are great trails for hiking, biking, and also horseback riding at the State Caverns Park. You can also do boating and camping as options there, as well as swimming. They actually have a swimming hole, for lack of a better word.
The Blue Hole. It's original name, but it's pretty cool.
The water, there are no lifeguards, and the water's about 35 feet deep. And sometimes it does get kind of dark because it's fed by the Chipola River. So sometimes the water gets a little murky colored. So just beware if you have little ones, safety precautions.
Today's caverns was once underwater, and what is so cool is the limestone. At one point, it was at the bottom of the ocean, and that's what caused the the water to drip down and make these caverns. And so one of the things I didn't realize is most caverns in Florida are underwater. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why we have all the cave divers. That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Right.
Now, there are some really unique features to the caverns, and they name some of the rooms that are inside. And one of them is called the wedding room. And we're going to show you video clips all throughout this video, and you'll get to see this. And in the wedding room, there is actually what looks like a wedding cake. And people actually get married in there, which I thought was kind of interesting, kind of a, new take on things.
We'll go with that. So inside the caverns, there's a couple of geological features. There are stalactites and stalagmites. Stalactites come from the top. Stalagmites come from the bottom. And sometimes these things will meet and form these columns.
And these are growing things.
Oh, that's cool. And so they're constantly growing. And do you remember how they grow, but they're slow, right? So
it's slow. It's about an inch every 100 years, I think they said. It's very slow, but it's amazing because you see all the different ones hanging from the ceiling and the ones growing up from the ground, and you just think how long they've been there and how long it's taken them to get to the point they are today.
Yep.
There's also something else, and I'll see if I can find a picture to insert here. There are some that they don't drip to a point. The water flows to the side, and it looks like a waving curtain. It's really pretty.
Yeah. That was cool. I forgot about that.
Yeah, really, really pretty.
And so they have all of these different rooms, and they'll show flashlights, and it's almost like, I would say, like looking at clouds and seeing the shape.
Yeah, it really is.
And so there was, our party was made up of a bunch of different people, but there were some young kids that were like, oh, look at that. And then, they were coming up with some other shapes, and I kind of looked and said, hey, I see that too. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do keep in mind, if you are tall, the caverns are going to be an interesting place for you to visit.
A little challenging.
Because you do have to duck to walk through multiple places there. I think some of the clearances were 4 feet, so we were crouched over walking. Jeff got a real kick out of that one.
Yeah, Marnie was in front, and I said that, hey, if I'd recorded that, then we'd have a million likes. And during this period,
it was funny,
and I was laughing so much that until my pants ripped because
yes,
and so maybe the guy behind me didn't appreciate that. I don't know, but it was
a lot of fun though. But do beware, if you're taller, then you're going to have to crouch for quite a ways in there. But it's worth it. And totally worth it.
There was one poor guy that was 6'8", and he was in our group. I'm 5'8", so he's a whole foot taller than me. And there's this one place called Tall Man's Terror, where it really gets Short Man's Revenge. Yes. And I was like, yeah, how do you like that, big boy? But no, but he had fun, and and there are places when you get into the chambers themselves that they're 7 foot high,
tall,
so
huge,
he could stand up
huge,
and everything.
Absolutely. Now, one of the rooms you found very interesting.
Oh yeah. Again, like I said, there's a lot more that you just got to go see, and hopefully your guide will be as good as ours. But there's this one area that has this pool, it looks like, and they said they call it the South America room. And I'm looking, I'm like, well, why they call it the South American room? And then we kind of go up a little bit, and you look down, and that pool is probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 feet, and it looks like a silhouette.
It's like a map.
Yeah, it looks like a silhouette of South America, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, because there's Brazil, there's Argentina, and that was a pretty neat thing, and I know I keep using the words cool, neat, but I don't know, I got to come up with some better
I don't know how
ones.
else to describe it. Now, one of the things. Now, one of the things that I found so interesting was the floor of the caverns. And the only thing, I know this is going to sound like the weirdest analogy, the only thing I can come up with is it looks like when you see a picture of a human brain and you see all the wavy parts to it, that's what the floor looks like. And that is where carbonic acid has eaten away at the cave floor. Now, that wasn't the really scary part. The scary part is to know that the tour guide pointed out that soda has carbonic acid in it as well. And we drink that stuff. And I'm going to cut back on that.
But if I were here as long as the Florida Caverns, I probably would take a risk on it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But it just puts into perspective how that carbonic acid has eaten away at that limestone. And it's really unique looking, the pattern in it. But it was just, it was kind of interesting to see that and know how it was formed, that it comes from our environment and everything, that it's in all the water and the different things, and that's what's happened over the years. And we also got to touch a stalagmite. You typically do not touch them because the oils on your hands will actually kill them. The oils on our hands are dangerous to them, but there's one that you are allowed to touch, and it is so cool because it still has the water dripping down it, and it's big. So it's really unique. It's not like a normal rock that you would pick up or touch. It's smooth where the water has etched it over the years, and you can still feel that water. It's cool, and it was really fun. I thought it was a fun experience.
I did too. The temperature in there stays constant.
65, I think it was.
Yeah, it was pretty warm outside, and when we started going down our descent, you could tell about the
third step.
It was cool. Now the humidity is something in there. There's sometimes 100% humidity.
Yeah.
Is that what they said? And but it's cool down there, and they said in the winter time it still remains 65 even if it's 30 degrees outside.
Yes, so it's like constant temperature there.
No wonder Bruce Wayne liked that so much. He got to save on the power bill of the Batcave, I guess.
Good point.
Yeah, so the original entrance was only about a foot from top to bottom, and when you go in there and you see these massive caves that have been basically dug out and things, and again they didn't realize that all these caves interconnected until the CCC realized that, and there's only, like Marnie mentioned earlier, that one passage that was dug out. Everything else is natural. Which
now, didn't they say? I'm pretty sure she said this, that there's another cave system below that one as well.
They did, right?
Yeah, because some of the stalactites and stalagmites have actual, you can see the joint in them where they've shifted.
Right.
And that's what's caused it. She said it's actually moving all the time. You just don't feel it. Right. And I thought that was really interesting. Make sure to go check this place out. It is a beautiful park, and it deserves all the visitors it can get. It's a great way to see the non-touristy area of Florida.
Like real Florida, and it takes you back to kind of that late 1800s, early 1800s, that period of time when Florida was just getting settled and things of that, and nature is still there.
Yes.
It's so natural that there's bats in the cave.
Yes.
And there was a snake right outside of the...
I found the snake as I was stepping out of the cave door.
It was more like a worm, and
it was not. He was at least a foot long.
And our tour guide said, "Oh, that's just so and so. It's harmless, just and it was."
I might have squealed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she might have squealed. Ran back into me as I'm trying to get out. Yeah, but it was okay.
He got a laugh out of it.
I did.
But no, do go visit. It is absolutely beautiful. And like I said, it's the non-touristy area. You're not fighting the crowds at a theme park. You're not trying to find a place on the beach. It's not hot. It's just beautiful old Florida.
And it's only a mile. It's a couple miles off of that I-10 corridor. So if you're actually, going I-10 and you go by the Marianna exit, it's a couple miles off there. If you want to take go grab something to eat, go sit out, chill out, and relax. The tour takes about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So, by the time you get off the interstate, go there, go on the cave tour, you spent an hour and a half, and that's a pretty good little break.
Yeah, it is. And it's almost halfway between Tallahassee and Pensacola. So if you're coming between those two places, perfect side trip. It's absolutely perfect. And remember, talk to us about this. We want to hear what you guys think. We want to know where you're going.
And some of the things that we would like to know, not only where you're going, but kind of review on it, because there are a lot of cool places we want to go and see. And, we trust our audience,
yes,
that
exactly.
And we just want to see, that not just state parks, national parks, any of those things that you find that was really cool. So leave us a message and tell us what was your favorite, or, tell us about your experience or something like that.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you guys. And when you talk to us about this, we like hearing from you, because online reviews are great and everything, but talking to real people about it, that's way better. So much better. I love to get travel information from people who have actually been and talked to them and carry on a conversation. Remember now, you can also reach us on social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Drop us a line there, anywhere. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can get these videos every week. And we're always posting shorts. Every day I try to post a short. So hang out with us, click that like and subscribe button. And don't forget, we have a website too, BrokeTeachersTravel.com. And remember, break the monotony,
not the bank.
Bye, guys.
Have a good week.